Hello everybody, this is Nathan from Arcadius Ops, and today we're going to look at the shady world of the dark web, and we're going to look at what it is and what it isn't, and then mention some tools that we can use for doing what this is going to be all about, is your OSINT. OSINT using the dark web. Okay, so what is the dark web? Well, the dark web, first of all, I'd like to make a distinction in that the dark web can be a source of information. Many organizations fail to collect information from the dark web, and this could be a huge oversight. In recent years, the dark web has emerged as a well-known hub for dubious and oftentimes criminal activity. And without regular monitoring of a organization's dark web presence, you could be overlooking certain threats for your threat analysis. You certainly could be overlooking sources of compromised passwords and usernames for your organization. And for OSINT researchers and for threat analysts, the dark web is a most important place for information. But let's have a quick insight into what the dark web is. Well, everybody's clear about GoogleNet and ClearNet. It's what you use. You open up your browser, Firefox or Chrome or Safari, and you type in www.target.com and you'll be met with a list of possible websites and everything connected to your target. Now, that's what they call the ClearNet. Some people refer it as GoogleNet. But this only is about 4%. 4% of the entire internet is on the ClearNet or GoogleNet. And this is the part where most users will spend their time. So Amazon or eBay or Tesla.com, it's all on GoogleNet or on ClearNet. The other 96% is tucked away in the dark web. Now, the dark web's been around since 2002, and it was a US Navy initiative to enable agents to securely and anonymously communicate freely online. And the most important thing there is without detection. So the US Navy wanted the system to obscure activities, and it was a success, and then the US military opened this up to the public. And that's why today we have the dark web, and it allows anyone to communicate and conduct business online with a very large degree of anonymous activity. For example, the BBC, the New York Times, and even Facebook publish mirrors of their websites on the dark web, thereby allowing visitors from oppressive regimes and tyrannical countries to get around government censorship. The dark web also represents a secure means of communication for activists, human rights activists, for journalists, and in recent times, whistleblowers. So Julian Assange, for obvious reasons, he is a huge user of the dark web by his own admission. And I think we all agree that that's a very prudent way for him to conduct his activities. But as you might expect, the dark web does attract a lot of shady characters and shady activities, and unfortunately, the dark web has become a hub for criminal activities because the dark web offers anonymous operations. Not completely, but it's very difficult and sometimes not worth it getting the information to find out where a user comes from. You can buy anything on the dark web. You can buy illegal drugs, you can buy illegal pornography, you can buy stolen goods, leaked usernames and passwords, credit card details, pirated content, hacked passwords. You can certainly get company trade secrets. And this is allowing many unscrupulous people at the moment to do what they call doxing. To dox an individual, which is a violent attack on that individual. And the individuals are high-value targets, such as executives and celebrities and BIP. So, for obvious reasons, the dark web has an image of being quite literally dark and dangerous. But it must also be realized that it's a major source of open source intelligence for any self-respecting hacker. And without monitoring or looking at the dark web on a regular basis, you are not going to get the information that you would find on GoogleNet, for example. But let's have a look now at what are the tools that we can use for dark web operations. Well, the first thing is Tor. Okay, you've got a client and you've also got a browser. You cannot use Google Chrome or Firefox or Safari to access the dark web. You cannot. Those ClearNet browsers are not configured to look into the dark web. So you're going to have to use Tor. Tor is short for the Onion router, and it's the largest and most popular darknet service. It allows you to communicate anonymously with the darknet, and it has many layers of encryption. Okay, many layers that layer on top of each other to get to your target. Okay, so it's a very secure piece of software, is the Tor, and you can exploit the Tor service for any reason you so wish. You can be the lowest of the low, and you can be, exploiting criminal activity, or you can spread censored information through repressive regimes. And the Arab uprising and the Spring uprising, it was fueled by social media going through the Tor. So in the description, there is a link to installing Tor. You can either use a client. So if you're going via a Linux server, for example, you can install the Tor client to be one of the Tor nodes, and that will encourage encrypted and anonymous access to the Tor. Or you can use, what many people do, is use the browser. Now, down here, let's have a look. Down here, I've got Tor browser. It's very, very good. It takes some time to establish a connection. So you have to be a little bit patient when it comes to using your Tor browser. I'm on Windows at the moment, Windows 11, and it does take some time to connect. It's doing this because it's establishing a route from where you are, where I am, and through the Tor. Now I am going through the Tor. Now the good thing about this is that I can look at anything on the ClearNet. So I like motorcycles. So I want to look at Ducati. I've got a couple of Ducatis in the garage downstairs. And as you can see, it takes some time because it's going through at least 3 nodes, at least 3 Tor nodes to search for the information. Now, Ducati may have a presence on the dark web. It may have some anonymous content there, but as you can see, it isn't. Now, how do I know that this is not on the dark web? Well, that's easy. Okay, so on the ClearNet, it will be mysite.com. Right, so I know that this .com, I am now on the ClearNet. I'm on GoogleNet. The dark web, it is .onion. And there'll be a bunch of numbers, 2, 4, 8, 3, 1, 2, 6, and probably that. So there'll be this obscure number and then .onion. So going back to this, yeah, that's on the ClearNet. There's not a lot, but I don't expect Ducati would want to go onto the dark web. All right. But as well as searching the dark web for onion sites, this also will use the Tor nodes, and I am being routed through the dark web to get to the clear web. So what this is doing, essentially, so that's me in Hong Kong. This is the dark web. And this is Ducati. Okay. If I were to use something like Firefox, okay. Firefox, if we do Firefox, Firefox would go straight to Ducati.com. But Tor browser, it will go to the dark web first. And there'll be at least 3 nodes. And then it will exit the dark web and go to Ducati.com. Now, coming back, it may or may not use the same route. It may, or it may not. When you close your Tor browser and you start it up again, this route to the dark web will be completely different. All right? So that's the good thing about the dark web, is that your route is going to be anonymous and different every single time. Okay. We've also got something called ZeroNet. Now, ZeroNet is a distributed peer-to-peer web hosting service. Okay. This means that the website is uploaded on ZeroNet, but it isn't hosted on a central server. Right? So ZeroNet has different servers, and your information is put on each server, and it's distributed over those servers. It is accessible to the Tor, and that's good for ensuring that you have the update information all of the time. We always got something called I2P, which is the Invisible Internet Project. And what I2P does, it ensures and allows censorship-resistant peer-to-peer communication. So obviously, your I2P is encrypted on several layers. I2P also remains anonymous, completely anonymous. So nobody can find out who you are. And as a result, I2P has become, unfortunately, a very popular service for cyber criminals. It's also used for to circumvent government censorship. And I forgot to mention is that you've also got Freenet. Freenet is very similar to ZeroNet in that Freenet, its sole objective in Freenet is to avoid censorship. Okay? Avoid those stuck in the mud, boring old people that apparently know what we want and they are trying to censor. And quite necessarily sometimes. But enough of my politics. Freenet is also distributed. It has no central server. So if governments, authorities want to take down one node in ZeroNet, or they want to take one node down in Freenet, or indeed several nodes, ZeroNet and Freenet will still operate. Okay, because they can access the original information. And ZeroNet, Freenet were designed by dissidents and for dissidents to avoid censorship laws. And today, Freenet is ranked one of the most popular services for whistleblowers and for freedom fighters and all those type of people. But obviously, it's used by criminals to distribute illegal and malicious content. All right. So that's all I'm going to really say on the background of that. But now let's go on to actually using the dark web. Okay. A couple of things you need to. Okay. So first of all, use Tor. All right. You need to go to the Tor at all times. You need to not give your personal info. Do not give credit card details. Do not buy anything on the dark web. If you do, then you are going to be shafted. All right. So do not give out your PII, your personal identifiable information. Do not. Okay. You can isolate your presence by using Tor. You can also run Tor. This is a given, really, on your VPN. All right. Use a VPN. Proton VPN, all right, which is the free VPN from the Particle Physics Lab, CERN, in Switzerland, and they do offer a free VPN service, but they also do offer email, and it's all anonymous. All right. VPNs do tend to leak a little bit of information, but with Proton VPN and Proton Mail, you are anonymous at all times. Okay, you can give false information about your ID, but it will not be an issue to the good people at CERN. They want it to be anonymous, and obviously Proton VPN and Proton Mail are highly encrypted over several layers. Also, the last thing to make yourself secure, your history, okay, history from your browser. Okay. Clear and reset. Okay. So in Firefox, for example, you can configure Firefox to clear and reset your browsing history every time you open and every time you close Firefox. All right. Now, once you are using Tor, all right. So we're now going on to the Tor browser. Okay. The Tor browser. Right. Once you get on there, there's something called the hidden wiki. Okay. Now the hidden wiki is a great time and place to start using the dark web. All right. It also has the chan boards. All right. Which, as long as you don't give your personal information, are quite safe. Okay. But when you do click on links, please verify those links. Even on the dark web, phishing and spear phishing does happen. You've got another good place, which is called Hunchly. Now, Hunchly is a free email service. And what it does, Hunchly gives you daily updates on new sites. Okay. Dark. What they call dark sites. Okay. It updates you by email on the new sites that are coming up in the dark web. You've also got amir.fi. Now, Amir is a very useful and very well respected dark web search tool. All right. It can also do the clear web, but it does specialize in getting the onion websites, the dark websites, for you. And it is more importantly finding the sites that can display some horrific content. Okay. It does by default filter out the child abuse images, but you will be able to find adult content on Amir. But Amir can be configured to get into those quite undesirable websites, should you so wish. Many companies, many organizations, especially the police, they do use Amir a lot for pedophile hunting and to smash some pedophile rings. So Amir is a good service to have. You also have something called Dark.fail. Dark.fail. Now, Dark.fail is operated by just one person. We know this person's one, he or she, it doesn't matter. But it's an anonymous journalist. And Dark.fail represents the best way to find active and legitimate onion links. The site's founder does curate the dark web pages. It removes the domains with questionable motives, such as phishing, malware, and other scam websites. So Dark.fail is a very good attempt to show you something that could be related to your OSINT searches for your target information. And lastly, you've got something which not many people know about, the H-index. Now, H-index is a dark website that provides a list of onion links it has attempted to index alongside relevant information. So it attempts to give you the title, the language of that website in, the URL, the .onion URL. And at KDSOps, we use H-index a lot. We use Hunchly, and we use amir.fi. The hidden wiki is basically for the first-time users, and of course, you know, the Chan board, the 4chan board, and the anonymous hacktivist group. They are very active on Chan boards. Okay, so that's it. So today we've looked at the dark web, and we've done some delving into how to use it. You use Tor. Be careful on what information you give on the dark web. My advice is don't give any information whatsoever. If they ask you for a website, give them an anonymous email address, such as what you can find at ProtonMail. And just be careful of what you are looking at, because in some countries to look at certain categories is illegal. And enjoy the dark web. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.